Herman Schultz, the Shocker. A lot of people, especially current writers at Marvel, love to treat him like a loser. I don't know if it's because he wears bright yellow or what, but more often than not, if Herman appears in a book, he's going to get curb stomped and laughed into prison. And I want to go on record to say, the Shocker kicks ass. He's like the working man's criminal. He doesn't go out looking for revenge or to take over the world. He just wants the payday. And he doesn't need cosmic rays, gamma radiation, or a magic hammer to get things done. He uses his own ingenuity. And make no mistake, mate, this fella's a genius. Cheeky too. Did you know he first built his vibration gauntlets in the prison workshop? The sly bastard built his tools for escape right in front of the guards. The cocky get. I'm sure you've heard the snobs make the comments about Herman being a joke, but I see potential in this crazy bastard. The Shocker is a career criminal, and so usually in mainline comics we see him attempt a heist only to get stopped by a hero. But today we're not looking at mainline Shocker. We're going to take a look into some of the parallel lives of Herman Schultz in Shocker Across the SpiderVerse. First, we're going to look at the Shocker Noir. In the build-up to Spider-Geddon, another multiverse threat for the spiders across realities, one of the cooler variants of Peter Parker first faces his Herman in a motion comic called Spider-Geddon, Spider-Man Noir. New York, 1940. Spider-Man Noir and his new partner in crime, the White Widow, investigate Schultz Enterprises, where rumour has it that the war in Europe has snuck into New York, with Schultz set to meet with a Nazi officer. And thanks to Spider-Man's less than stealthy entrance, it's not long before they're spotted. Schultz has built himself an electric augmented power suit, one powerful enough to stand up to the strength of Spider-Man, and he's planning to sell the designs to the Nazis. When Widow asks how an American can make deals with the Germans, Shocker tells her he's just in it for the money. There's a better pill for me to swallow. That usual Shocker charm of love has turned against me here. His character trait of being all about the payday has led him working to the bloody Nazis. He does have some crazy justification though. When Widow tells him his suit will kill innocent people, he tells Widow, suit's just a tool, it's the people inside that'll kill, not his suit. That's how he'll sleep at night. This new Shocker's so powerful that the only way Spidey wins is by tricking Shocker into damaging the water tower on the rooftop of Schultz Enterprises, which douses and short-circuits his battlesuit, shutting the Shocker down. What a sick design. The trench coat and the sheer bulkiness of Shocker has him proper imposing here, and it helps him fit into the noir setting really well. Notice how Schultz wasn't some loser or robber. He's an entrepreneur in this world. He had a whole warehouse with his name on it and everything. They don't mention specifics, but I think he might have ran a power plant of some sort, because when he's defeated, the city blacks out a bit. That implies to me he was using the city's power grid to power his own suit. Working with the Nazis is a bit far, but for the man chasing only money, it fits the time period. It's left ambiguous if Herman dies or not. He is crushed by the water tower, but he does briefly get back up before collapsing. But it's not like Spider-Man Noir hasn't killed before. Vulture. We need more Noir universe villains in general. The first two volumes are fantastic, and I love seeing villains reimagined for other time periods. So that was the Shocker Noir. Usually Herman's no stranger to depression, but this one was no stranger to the Great Depression. That's a clever joke for me. Next, we have a Shocker with a touch of realism to him. Well, as real as a vibration-based bank robber can be. Next, we have the Shocker from the movie tie-in games. The Sam Raimi trilogy-inspired video games had what might be the best adaptation of Shocker ever seen. Not long after Peter takes down his uncle's killer and becomes Spider-Man, he stumbles upon a jewel heist performed by two very deadly partners in crime. The Shocker and the Vulture, not a pair you'd think would be mates, alongside their criminal crew. Vulture escapes by air, but Shocker's van is totaled when Spidey intervenes. Crashing into Grand Central Station, Shocker and his goons make a stand against Spider-Man, nearly destroying the station and most of the subway until Spider-Man finally stops Herman in a boss fight that shows off how cool Shocker's moveset can be. Herman in this is framed as the first real threat that Spider-Man ever fought, and their banter is great.
So you must be Quilt Man, Padded Pete, Mr. Triple Ply? Oh, I've got it! The cushion.
I'm the Shocker. I tell you not to forget it, but you won't be around long enough to worry about that. Now say goodbye to Mr. Innocent Bystander, sucker.
Herman's portrayed as a professional, like when he tells his boys to stay calm because they knew it was only a matter of time before they had to deal with Spider-Man. And he shows some craftiness when he lures Spidey into trap after trap, first using civilians as bait and then boxing them into the subway with barely any room to dodge. A great showing for Shocker here. And in Spider-Man 2, the greatest Spidey game ever, it continues to make Herman look good. First, when Quentin Beck challenges Spider-Man in a challenge of heroism, Herman escapes prison in the confusion and wastes no time gearing up for another round with Spider-Man. Only this time, he's outfitted as goons with similar weapons to his own. The Shocker's gang and the vibration-based weaponry terrorise the streets, and Spidey only finds Herman's hideout because his new ally, the Black Cat, runs in similar circles to Shocker. Oh, but she pays for grassing him up when Herman blasts her sky high and makes his escape. Next, he spreads the word of where his new hideout is specifically to bait Spidey in, and when the Wallcrawler and Black Cat show up, he laughs in their faces because he's ready for them.
About time you losers got here. I must have told every lowlife in New York where to find me.
A trap?
Don't take it too hard, Cat. Shocker's a crafty one. No, wait, I'm thinking of someone else.
Equipped with an experimental propulsion system that enhances his vibratory powers tenfold, Shocker has Spidey and the Cat on the ropes until they shut down his power-up and take him down. But he did make Spidey work for it this time. Another fantastic caper. His banter with Peter in this one's the best. They're like rival wrestlers hamming it up for the crowd. You can tell they love fighting each other.
She's pretty amazing, don't you think, Shock?
I think my career has just hit a new low.
Who cares what you think?
Again, this Herman shows his genius by hijacking the propulsion system to give his blast some extra punch. And the part where he leaked his hideout to lure in the heroes was masterful. A competent villain who loves what he does. Definitely my favourite Shocker. And we're going from the most competent version to perhaps the least competent version here, because finally we're ending on the original Ultimate Universe's rendition. The world of 1610 might actually be where this idea of Shocker being a loser began. Herman appeared sporadically but consistently throughout the original Ultimate Spider-Man run, usually for a page or two where Peter finds him mid-crime, makes a joke out of him, and takes him down easy. The man was the definition of joke villain. His awful win-lose ratio, coupled with an updated design that lacked the unique coolness of 616, meant that this version of the Shocker never stood a chance. 1610 Herman was pathetic. Until the issue where he finally got the better of Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 122. The fight starts the same as all their others. Spidey catches Herman halfway through a heist and starts kicking his ass. Same old, right? Wrong, because this time Shocker gets a lucky blast in. Just as surprised as Spider-Man at his sudden advantage, Shocker keeps up the pressure until Spidey is KO'd and then kidnaps him as he makes his first successful getaway. And all the months of Spider-Man making Herman look like an idiot are paid back. Herman unmasks Spider-Man and discovering he's a 15-year-old boy, starts taking his revenge. Shocker tells Peter that all his crimes were, in his eyes, justified because he deserves to be rich after what happened to him. He's a selfish, bad man because when he needed help, nobody helped him. It turns out that before becoming a small-time criminal, Herman was a genius weapons developer for Roxxon's shadiest side businesses. That's where he invented the gauntlets, alongside other weapons that could revolutionize war. And as soon as Roxxon had Herman's masterpieces, they betrayed him. Fired and disgraced in the scientific community, Herman had no choice but to turn to crime to survive. Sorry for the samey looking pages, but for some reason the book tells us this instead of showing us this. Could it not have done a flashback to this? But in his haste to kill Spider-Man, Shocker misfires his gauntlet and shatters the chains holding Peter in place. And Peter puts Herman down one last time. But whether or not a sad backstory justifies Shocker's actions doesn't matter, as even after all this, he still gets no respect. The mainline Shockers never really went into any backstory aside from making his gauntlets in prison, so we've nothing to compare this to. But it's kind of a generic backstory if I'm honest. The idea of a scientist being betrayed and turning villain is the same story as Vulture, whose partner secretly sold their business and took all the profits for himself, Robot Master, who got screwed over by Norman Osborn, and, arguably, Dr. Octopus, whose colleagues mocked him, which warped his mind after his accident to breaking point. I think it's way cooler when he's just a really clever thug with a cool weapon. Final thoughts, Shocker rocks. I'm already a big fan of normal human enemies standing up to powerful superheroes, and Shocker's boss weapon and fun costume pushes him ahead. Mock him all you like, but I'll always back him up. If I ever write for Marvel, expect this fella to have a starring role. You know, in the Marvel 2099 universe, the word shock has completely replaced the F word, so if there was a Shocker 2099, it would be like modern day Spidey fighting someone called I've got nothing but good vibes for this guy.